what are your personal triggers? For example, like we talked about when you're tired.
Yeah.
That's a trigger.
Yeah.
That's a trigger for me. When you're tired, when you haven't eaten,
Yeah.
when you have overextended, when when you've been in the heat too long. Do you know what your triggers are? This is On My Nerves, MS Unfiltered. With MS, yesterday doesn't always look like today. Symptoms with MS change so rapidly sometimes from 1 hour to the next, or from one day to the next, or from 1 week to the next. You can be too tired. You can be just generally weak, or you can have brain fog that day. Symptoms just can change very rapidly. So today, we're going to talk about symptoms of MS and how they affect us. So first question I want to know, do you ever ask yourself, why am I experiencing this symptom today? Why am I having spasticity on this side today? Why am I having spasticity in this particular limb today? Why am I overly tired today? Why am I having brain fog today? But I didn't have any of that yesterday, or it wasn't as bad as it is now.
Right.
Do you ever ask yourself those questions?
Well, I only ask that whenever I'm trying to figure out the source of a particular symptom. But they change. They change from day to day, depending on my level of activity. And sometimes, a lot of the times, they're just random. You know, there are some symptoms that are with me every day, like fatigue, like balance, those things. But then, I have quirks and things that I feel that are just random. For example, sometimes I feel this electric shock on my left side. I don't know what triggers it yet, but and it's painful. Um, but I don't know what triggers it. To answer your question, there are some symptoms that I do understand where they're coming from. I may be tired or fatigued, or I've done too much, but then there are some symptoms that are just random that I don't know. So I've learned to just breathe throughout the symptoms. I don't think I'll ever get used to the randomness of it all, but I've learned to
Yeah.
just accept what's happening and to deal with the symptom just in that moment and release it whenever it's done.
Let me ask you this. Like the pain you feel on your left side, like it comes randomly, but does it last a certain amount of
Well, no,
time,
no,
or does
it
it
normally
go away?
a day or two, but it's these shocks. It's like an electric bolt, and it feels like that it's traveling up and down my side. But I've learned that that's not the way the nerves work. Um, that it goes inside out. So I guess the shock is moving this way, but it feels like it's coming up and down. I don't know. It's weird and it's painful. And um, when I experience that, I need to slow down. That's an indication that I need to stop, chill out, whatever I'm doing, take a break, rest. And normally within a couple of days, a day or two, it'll subside.
Huh. I'm kind of backing into it since you've said that. So do you think like stopping and resting allows it to subside? Do you think because maybe you did too much,
Yeah,
it made it happen?
I think that's it. I think
Okay.
that's it. I just know that the more that I move, the more that I experience it. So I'm still. Well, I'm forced to be still. Maybe because I need to
Mm-hmm.
be, but because I can't really move, otherwise it starts shocking me.
Okay.
And I think that it's just because I've been doing too much, and I need to rest. And like I said, normally
Okay.
I think resting is normally the antidote to most of my symptoms. Um, Although all of them don't completely subside, but normally with the rest, it kind of chills out a little bit.
Kind of chill. Okay. All right. That makes sense. You asked me, do I have any symptoms
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
What do you feel? Do you feel anything that changes, that surprise you from day to day?
I fear that either my memory is not as good or something, or I've had it too long. I don't know. But earlier in my diagnosis, everything was so new
Mhm.
and everything was so
A lot,
life
a
changing,
lot.
right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
But, right. But now I've had it for so long and I'm so used to what I live with, and I don't experience anything new.
You don't recognize it.
It's just there.
Yeah,
It's just everything there has been there. And so I've learned to work around it, you know? So, but I don't get, and I mean, this is going to sound kind of self-aggrandizing, and I don't mean it that way, but like I've never gotten a shock, you know? If I got a shock, it would be shocking because get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the stuff I do have, I've had,
Hmm.
you know, like we've talked about before, the foot drop. And that's the spasticity on my left side. Actually it's in my left quad and, actually my whole left leg,
Hmm.
the spasticity and the weakness in my hip flexor. But that's been there. It's not new,
Hmm.
you know? Um, and I've just learned to work around it and to live with it. But like fatigue, I don't experience fatigue beyond what's normal to
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
To me,
Right.
you know, my normal is like if my normal is 8.5, I'm 8.5, like all the time, you know. So it's gonna take something major, like a major event to wear me out. But I kind of stay, you know, along the same plane most of the time. It sounds like I'm not I don't want to sound like I don't have MS, but
No,
I'm pretty
that
steady.
again, that's great. That's encouraging. I'm hoping for the day that I can say that my symptoms are normal, normalized into the sense to where they don't really surprise you anymore. Like you can kind of expect what it's gonna throw at you that day. Me not so much. I'm kind of like dodging, just kind of waking up, checking, throughout the day, making sure symptoms
Yeah.
are in play. Like, is this new? Okay, what's going on? My big toe doing the Dougie. Like, what's going on down there? Like, so I'm constantly, self-checking and, I'm trying to be more aware of my body. I'm not to the place to where I'm like, okay, this is MS. I know what I'm gonna get. I'm still looking over my shoulder a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. That's a good way to put it. You're always looking over your shoulder. Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah, I'm not there anymore. I did.
Hmm.
There was a day,
Yep.
but not now. I'm not there now. Wow. Well, that's interesting. Well, all that being said, what are your personal triggers? For example, like we talked about when you're tired,
Yeah,
that's a trick.
yeah,
That's a trigger for me. When you're tired, when you haven't eaten,
yeah.
when you have overextended, when you,
Hmm.
like we've talked about before, when you've been in the heat too long, do you know what your triggers are?
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm still learning, but some like heat, any heat sensitivity, I think I've gotten that down because I think that affects me in the most severe way. He can take me out
Mm-hmm.
as quicker than anything else. And so I've gotten
Mm-hmm.
more familiar with, kind of keeping track of my body, the temperatures, what's happening, what I'm feeling there. So yeah, I can recognize. And it's normally my energy just sucks. It just like a battery on E. Just like imagine a battery and just everything draining out. That's what it feels like. So I can feel it
Yeah,
start, yeah,
exactly.
quickly. I can feel it start to drain. And that's when I know, like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I got to get out. I got to go cool off. With just my general fatigue, it's just doing too much. Learning when to take breaks, learning when to stop. Sometimes if I get excited, I get stubborn and I want to continue whatever it is that I'm doing, even though it's probably smart that I relax and take a break. And so I'm still learning that balance. I've gotten a
Right.
lot better,
Mm-hmm.
but you overexert yourself a few times, you're like, all right, I ain't trying to keep going through this. So you you
Right.
it forces you to pay attention, or at least more attention.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I have a story about learning about one of my triggers. My dad got me this little electric. I wouldn't call it a bicycle. It wasn't a bicycle. It was more like a little
Mhm.
scooter thing, right? And he was like, "Go ahead, Michelle, go ahead and go ride." And I was like, "It's hot out here."
Yeah.
Now, I know this is going to sound weird because I've ridden bikes outside in the heat. But for some reason, this little thing, it was not, the heat was wearing me out. It didn't feel the same, right? And so I was riding it and I was so tired. I
Mm,
had that same UCOS phenomenon had totally kicked in.
man.
And I was just like, I am so tired. And I fell and I mean, it was horrible. And my husband was like, she's got to go inside. She can't take this. And my dad was like, she's okay. He was like, no, she can't take this. But because, you know, when you're with your family, that's with you all the time. Now my dad's my family, but he's not with me all the time. My husband was like, no, he can see
Hmm.
that the battery is draining. She has to go
Yeah.
inside. And so my dad was like, okay, all right, yeah, let's go inside. And so we came inside. My husband like put ice all over me to get my body
Yeah.
temperature back down because that was a massive trigger. It's like I couldn't function because I did have heat intolerance that day. So that wasn't all the time, but that day I totally had it. And it was very obvious I had it that day. And my husband was like, no, we have got to go in. And he just poured the ice and water all over me because he was like, she can't do this.
Yep.
She can't
That's
do
true.
this. And my dad was kind of shocked.
You know,
Yeah.
I try
Because he
to,
was like, I didn't know it was that bad.
oh, no, it's bad. I try to
Go ahead.
explain to people, imagine a robot like short circuiting. That's what it kind of feels like. Like, you know, it just, your body just shuts down. And the fatigue it's a weight like no other. Um,
It's
it's
tangible.
tangible. Yep. And so you have to stop. Like, you have no choice but to stop. It will stop you in your tracks until you're able to calm down, cool off, and your nervous system can rejuvenate so that things can fire
Hmm.
at the appropriate rate. Because when it goes
Yes,
haywire,
exactly.
it's haywire.
Right. Oh, and by the way, guys, when you watch this, if you want to know about UCOS phenomenon or the heat intolerance, we're going to link the video at the
Yeah.
bottom so you can watch that video because that is a symptom that's very real
Hmm.
to a lot of MS patients. So we're going to have that in the description for you. But Tim, let me ask you something
Hmm.
else. The there's a cost to making plans, right? So if we want to go somewhere, we want to do something, we have to plan. So tell me about how you plan. What is the cost if you don't plan?
Uh, Disaster. Not only for me, but for everyone else that is there, experiencing whatever we're doing, because I will have to stop and leave if I'm not prepped in the correct way. And so for me, it's where, when, how, what. I need to know. What are we doing? Where are we going? How far is it? What does the landscape look like? When are we doing this? Do I have enough energy to do this? Do I need to rest before I'm doing
Mhm,
this? And
mhm,
how are we doing this? Are we flying there?
mhm,
Are we driving there? What are
mhm,
we doing? I
mhm.
need to know logistics before I can decide whether
Com
this will be appropriate, because I want to go and enjoy and have a good time. And I also, don't want to hinder anyone else that's going too. So
Mhm.
prepping and planning is key. That's almost the event. Prepping and preparing for the event is the event. Everything else that happens
Yes.
once you get there, that's just enjoyment, you know. But the real
Right,
event is trying
right.
to get myself ready to do whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Because if not,
You said it.
yeah, yeah,
You said it. The preparation is the event. 100%. It is the event. Because you brought about another great point. You can't just think about
no,
yourself. You have to think about everybody else involved. And so that's what makes it an event because you can't just think about how this is going to affect you. You have to think about how this is going to affect you and everybody else.
that's right.
So you're right. That is the event, the plan. And you plan, I mean, I do.
Hmm.
We do. We plan for everything.
You
We
have
plan
to.
for weather, we plan for distance, we plan for um how we're going to get there, mode of transportation once we get
Right.
there, what we're going to do when we get there. I mean, they sound like normal things you plan for, but you need to be strategic in order to ensure that the more of a plan you have, the better time you're going to
That's
have.
right.
Because if you go with no plan,
Ooh,
it's not going to turn out well for
no, it's gonna be rough.
you.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's gonna be rough.
it's not going to turn out well for
Yeah,
you
you.
or the people that you're with.
That's right. That's right. And I just found the more detailed I am in planning, the better experience it is, and the better peace of mind that I have. The way I can go and enjoy, and
Hmm.
I'm not constantly thinking about, okay, where's the bathroom? What's going on? Is it too many people? It's too crowded. It's too hot. Was this light, that light, this way, exit, where, all these things, you know. But if
Yes,
I understand before, I can just go and enjoy, and I understand, what's happening, and I know what state my body's in, and then I also understand that random things may happen, but there's space for it to happen because everything else is checked.
yes,
Those boxes are checked.
yes, 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 yes. And you said another, Jim, there's peace of mind
Yeah.
in having a plan. You don't have to panic. You don't have to go, oh, shoot, I didn't
I'm
think of this.
stuck out here. Right. Hmm.
Yes, because you legitimately can be stuck
Literally.
out here.
Literally. Can't move.
Literally.
Can't move. You know?
Yes. Yes.
Rough.
And so you have to plan. You have to. So no, that is a we share that exact same. Our entire life is a plan. But it's not bad.
No. No.
I mean, I think there's value in having a plan.
There is
You know,
value there. There was a moment years earlier in the diagnosis where I was I was in battle with having to plan. I didn't want to have to plan in this way. Why do I have to make all these considerations now? Why do I have to think so much about these things now? I just want to go and do, just like I've always had. But now, as I've accepted what's happening and what has happened, I'm easier to invite those moments to where I need to plan. I'm not fighting against it, I guess. I'm accepting of it. But it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a process.
Yeah.
This whole
Oh
show
yeah,
is a process.
definitely.
It's a process. Well, let me ask you this. Just in terms of planning and making sure, because you have to be detailed. But in being detailed about your plan, you also have to listen to your body.
Right.
Have you developed a better ability to listen to your body having MS? This. Do you feel like not having MS versus having MS, you have to listen to your body more?
Yes, yes,
And why?
because I don't want to get caught slipping out here. It takes more energy and effort to dig yourself out of a relapse or out of a MS flare up than it is to just stay on top of things in order to prevent them. I think it's easier to be preventative than to be in recovery, at least for me. You know, recovery is work, man. A relapse, trying or after a couple of them relapses and in trying to rehab back, that's a lot of effort, energy, time. It's just a lot. So it's easier to just kind of stay on top before you get to those moments. So that's, you know, being aware of what you eat, your energy levels, how much you're working out, what you're doing, your rest, your sleep, all those things. And I'm not always
And being
being
compliant
compliant.
with your medication, because that's what's holding off the relapse.
That's right.
Is your disease modifying
Yeah.
therapy. Everything else is important, but that is the juggernaut, is being consistent with being compliant with your therapy.
Oh, I
Off.
agree. Um, right. And trusting your plan. I know that a lot of people don't always have the best neurology or just healthcare experiences, but being able to trust your care team and your care plan, that's also been a kind of a saving grace for me. I think my neurologist is pretty good, and I trust I trust the decisions. So that gives me a peace of mind to at least just okay, okay, cool. Let's just I trust their eyes and hands on me, so I'm able to kind of relax into it a little bit. But it's not easy.
And that is valuable, valuable. Finding a healthcare team that you trust and that you know they have your best interest at heart. You know that they know what they're talking
Right.
about and you can relax because having the disease in and of itself is a lot. But having somebody else think through the therapy and what's best for you is so
Oh
valuable.
yeah.
It is so valuable. And I just got to say this because I'm not sure if our listeners realize this. That do you mind if I talk about I'm not going to say what therapy you're on, but when your therapy came out, what that did for us,
No, sure, sure.
for me
Go
and
ahead, go
Miguel?
ahead. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Because I mean, that's just next level to
Yeah.
me. I know everybody has their own opinion about the healthcare system, and which is fine. But my brother and I are both pharmacists, and Tim has the type of MS where there was no treatment, and we both knew that there was no treatment for the type of MS he has until this one particular therapy came out that is the first treatment for the type of MS Tim has. I'm not going to say it because that's not my place. I'm not going to violate HIPAA. But we were so excited when the drug was released because had you been diagnosed with me, your life would look totally
Man,
different.
I know. I
Totally
know.
different
Yep.
than what it looks like today. And it was so exciting because my brother called. He was like, Shell, the drug was FDA approved. And I was like, I know. We were so excited for you. And speaking of, how are you doing on that therapy?
I think I've tried 4 or 5 different therapies. And so we landed on this one, and this has been the most effective. And, I'm happy, twice a year, go in, get it done. Um, I haven't really had any adverse side effects from it. I feel like it's keeping things in check. I feel like that is slowing the progression down. And so I'm pleased. I'm pleased. Yeah,
Good. Because although we're talking about the symptoms of MS, if these therapies did not exist, this would be a totally different conversation. And I'm not saying, yay, medicine, but what I'm saying is everything has a place. And I don't think that everything that happens to you, go out and take medicine for
yeah,
it. I don't care if I'm a pharmacist. This is the way I feel. But I do believe that some therapies are agents of God's grace. And that is one of them. The meds I've taken and the meds you're taking
mhm,
are agents of God's grace.
amen.
So I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but it's just amazing because your life would look so different.
I know.
My life would look so
I know.
different, but I'm interviewing you today.
Yeah.
So
No,
your life
no,
would look
I
so
know.
different.
I can imagine what it would be like because when I had my last relapse, it was right when Ocrevus had just gotten approved. And so to start that drug, I had to come out of work. I had to go back on disability. It was a whole thing. Um, so to have that drug just available there, now it was just out, so there was still a lot of questions, but my neurologist was like, "Hey, we're gonna try this out. We're gonna see. We think you'll be great. We've been monitoring everything. We think that this will, do well for you. Let's give it a shot." And at that point, I had nothing to lose because I couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I was having spasms in my sleep. In my sleep, I was having spasms, and it was just it was wild. Um, but once I got on the drug, things started to inflammation lower. Things started to come back relatively, um, and I was able to at least get myself back on my 2 feet. Uh, but man, the rehab back was was the real deal for me.
Wow. That is amazing. How long did it take you to rehab back?
Let's see, 8 months? No, probably longer than that. Probably about 10 months, almost a year, almost a year.
Wow. Look at you now.
But but even in that, I was able to regain some things, but not everything. Like, I still can't drive. I still, there's still things that I can't do. Um, but I'm happy to be able to stand up. And even though I'm dragging when I'm walked, sometimes the feet are still working. And so I know for a lot of people that isn't the case. So I'm grateful and I'm blessed and I'm thankful. And it's tough, but we still kicking in
You
the
are.
best way we
The
can.
last time I saw you, yes, the last time I saw you, you were doing really well.
I'm trying,
Really well.
considering, right?
Really
Hmm.
well. Yes. No, irregardless, you're doing really well. Like your walking speed it actually has speed.
Well,
You see yourself every day. I don't. You have speed.
yeah,
You do. You have control.
I'm no, well, I'm assisted. I'm not just out here, you know, pimping around, but I'm standing up. I'm standing up. I'm not pimping. I have my walker and the cane. I've got a scooter. I got everything that I need. Um, but I am able to stand, and so for that, there was a point that I,
Yes.
I couldn't do any of that. So I'm grateful for that.
But look at you. Yeah. I just saw you. So guys, we're not talking about years ago. I just saw him. You're doing really well.
Thank you. I appreciate
Really
that.
well.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't see you every
That's
day.
right. That's right.
So I know what I'm talking about. So do you let's see, I wanted to ask you one more question. Let's talk about safety.
Mhm.
Like, do you plan in your mind, I need to stop because if I keep going, it's not going to be safe?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Safety is definitely at the forefront because I ain't trying to fall, and I'm not trying to keep falling. I fall already. But I'm just not trying to just be out here falling, especially out and about, falling all around,
Yeah.
ruining the moment for everybody. So that all comes into play about logistics and learning myself. Being able to say no.
Mhm.
I can't. Y'all go ahead. I can't do that because
Mhm.
I'm gonna be on the floor over here in a minute. Or I'm gonna sit down and not be able to get up. So,
Mhm.
I'm better at, no, saying no, y'all go, knowing my boundaries, you know,
Mhm.
and then people who don't understand, I'm like, Tim, let's go, let's do it, we can do it. And y'all, I can't do it. And that's it.
Right. Right. I get that. It's not the most responsible thing. I push my limits. Like I know what's safe, but I simply sometimes just know it. Because sometimes if there's something I'm stubborn about, it's about why can't I do that?
That's right. Yep. But
Why can't
that's
I
what
do
you
that?
mean. What you talking about?
Yeah,
What you
that
saying? Like, what you mean? I can't, what? I am.
I just did
I
it.
am. And
Yeah,
I'm going to
I've
keep
done
doing it.
it.
What you mean, MF? What you talking about? That's how I used to talk at the beginning. But now I'm just like, oh, all right, what you doing today?
Could you talk to your
Bruh, what you
MS,
talking
don't
about
you?
today, bruh? You know, yeah.
Does it talk back?
Oh, it talks back. It screams back. It yells back. It fights back. It does. But all right, I guess we gonna go to sleep and we gonna be cool tomorrow. You know, that's just what it is.
I, it just is what
Yeah.
it is. Makes sense to me. But yeah, like I think safety is always a part of the conversation. Like, is this safe to do?
Mhm.
Not only for me, for us, but for the people around us. Do you find that like we have to make so many considerations, not just for us and the symptoms that affect us? We have to make considerations for how they affect other people too.
Well, I've been like that anyway, so that's really not a thing for
Yeah,
me.
me
Yeah,
too.
so um,
Yeah, me too.
I think my issue, especially early on in the diagnosis, is like I don't want people to pity me or pity the
Me
situation. I
neither.
don't want to bring everybody down. I don't want people to be sad for me. I had to
Me too.
learn to let people experience their emotions and let people assist and help in the ways that, and the skills that God has blessed them with. Um, because in the beginning, I didn't want people to make consideration because, hey, I haven't really accepted that I have this. I mean, I know I got it and I know my cousins have it and it's a thing, but whatever until it was like, nah, bro, you got this. Sit on down. Let's talk about it, So, when they brought me to my knees, uh, it opened the doors for me, although stubbornly, but it ushered in a way to accept.
And that's huge. That's huge.
It's hard to.
Because it is hard. It's very hard. You will not get an argument from me. It is very hard. Um, but there are good days.
Oh yeah,
There are good days. You just have to capitalize on them, you know? But it's very hard to adjust to once you are diagnosed and, you have to live your life. And then it's a new life,
oh, it's definitely a new life.
100%.
It's definitely a
It's a
new
new
life,
life.
and
Mm-hmm.
in real time, having to I don't even want to say redesign, but just reapproach life because your capability and ability has changed. Uh, but you still look the same. Do you get this? What do you mean? You sick? Why you using it? You look fine. What's wrong with you? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? Why are you walking slow? Why are you limping? Have you gotten that in public?
No, I don't get that. I got it mostly when I was working. And I've got not, it wasn't really like, what's wrong with you? Like I've been asked by physicians before, like if I was on the floor, I've been asked like, Michelle, how'd you hurt your leg?
Hmm.
And I just kind of lean over and I'll go, I haven't missed. And they'll go, you do?
Yeah.
It like they wouldn't respond that out, that loud or that overtly. They look at me like, then why are you walking around up here?
Hmm.
Or better yet, how are you walking around up here? That kind of thing. Or most people look at me with genuine like they think that my leg is broken
Yeah.
or I have an
The thing
injury.
has been like,
They never think,
right, like a car
yeah,
accident.
they think it's an
Yeah.
injury.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
They think it's an injury. They don't think it's
No, I
this,
just woke up
you
like
know,
this, guys. I just kind of woke up like this. Yep.
legitimately.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it just
Yeah.
happened. But, but yeah, I don't really have people asking me. Nobody's been mean
No,
to
me
me.
neither. Neither.
Yeah, nobody's been mean to me with
I
it.
found that
But
people are just curious. You know, they mean well. They're just
yeah, they're
reacting in
curious.
real time. I can see how it can be offensive though to some people. Be like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, what? What? Yeah, I can see how it can be um off-putting. But no, I think just people are just curious.
They're curious. Yeah.
Normally,
Yeah.
it's other men.
Yeah.
It's other like, bro, what happened, bro? What's going on, man? What's going on? Normally it's other men. But like, bro, what?
Maybe
Yeah.
that's it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Because women don't
No,
really
ass like
ask
that.
questions
Yeah,
like that.
no, it's just man, like, bro, what
Yeah.
happened, man? You all right? What's going? Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because women are more like, are you okay? Can I help you with something? You know, they become very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they don't ask you like, what's wrong with you?
Mm-mm.
You know, no, women don't ask questions like that. Yeah. Guys don't ask women stuff like that.
Probably want to land this thing.
All right, go ahead, land it.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in with us today. We hope that this conversation has given you guys some insight on kind of, what our lives are like, the symptoms that we experience, and how we get through it day to day. Again, guys, in the comments, we want to hear from you. Please like, share, subscribe. Let us know how you're doing, what's working for you, what's not working. And as always, we'll see you again next time.
MS Unfiltered. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. None of this information is intended for diagnostic or treatment purposes.
Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be well, stay encouraged, and we'll see you in the next episode.